I used to think of my life as a rap star. I used to think of my life as a trap star.
Hey, and welcome back to Emlyn in the Mix, where we discuss things all music technology, software and hardware, recording gear, studio gear, instruments, and more. If you love that sort of thing, then you're going to love the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Now, let's get on with the show with your host, yours truly, Emlyn. Hey, and welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast, season 4, episode 11. Now, if you've come to just check out Phasor today, our main feature by UVI, I'll have a timeline down below. You can just click and get straight to our main feature. And for those of you who've just come here and like, what is this? It is a podcast. It is a YouTube channel. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, but it is a podcast about music gear, music technology, software and hardware. So if you want to stick around, we're going to cover all the latest news that's been happening in the world of audio, sound, music, gear. If you love that sort of thing, you're going to love this channel. And for those of you who are regular listeners, thank you so much for joining me time and time again. If you like this video, leave a like, it helps out a lot, or hit subscribe down below if you're loving this content. We bring it out on a weekly basis. Now, there's a few things I just quickly need to get through here. You can click the link down below if you want to support the channel and shout me a coffee. You'll get a mention in the podcast. And also, we have a competition going at the moment, which is not rare. We do run competitions from time to time, but it's not a regular occurrence. And there's going to be 2 lucky winners who are going to win emergent drums. All you have to do is click that link down below to be a part of the competition. Super easy to enter. 2 lucky winners. What is emergent drums? Artificial intelligent drums. Literally artificial intelligence getting sounds for you, and never before heard sounds can be in your production with these amazing beats that it creates for you. It doesn't create the actual rhythm, but it creates the sounds, which are never before heard sounds, and you get some really interesting results. Anyway, I've got a bunch of videos of that on the channel you can check out if you just go through the Emlyn in the Mix. Thousands of videos that we have there. But look, without further ado, yes, that's all the housekeeping out of the way. Let's just actually get stuck into today's podcast. And our first piece of news here comes to us from Arturia. And it's not really, it is a piece of news. They dropped some new sound packs here, and I thought these were pretty cool. You got the Obscure Ambient 1.0, Experimental Pop 1.0, and Lo-Fi House 1.0. Now, me being a bit of a house lover, this is that yellow cassette here, or hard disk, floppy disk, if you remember these from back in the day. Let's have a quick listen to Lo-Fi House, new sound packs from Arturia. You know they're going to be good. Let's go here. We'll jump in and have a listen to some new loops. Oh yeah. Anyway, you get the idea, that real lo-fi vibe there. A little bit of dark, analog, retro, and beats processed lo-fi house there. And there's a bunch of others. The Obscure Ambient, which I listened to before the podcast, that is dark. I wasn't sure I was going to include it on the podcast, a little bit dark. You've also got this Experimental Pop one, but check it out. Brand new sound packs from Arturia. You know they're good. They always sound good when it comes from Arturia. Arturia do the best, some of the best emulations. We love them here on the channel. And let's move along. AKAI have just dropped this piece of software here called Flex Beat. And what is Flex Beat? So the legendary music production brand AKAI are proud to present Flex Beat, the ultimate rhythmic tool, giving you complete control over the timing and groove of your music. Flex Beat lets you create beat chops, DJ style scratches, trance gates, and reverse or half time your audio with ease. Producers of any genre can twist samples beyond recognition or add flavor to any loop in your sample collection. Sugar Bytes, anyone? Yes, this does remind me of some of the older, Sugar Bytes plugins, but hey, we can have more of these multi-effects plugins. Why not? And it's from AKAI. Let's just have a listen. Before we judge, let's have a listen. This does remind me of Effectrix a little bit by Sugar Butts, but look, it's completely new. I'm not complaining. AKAI, we love you. Let's have a look here. Listen to this. Oh yeah, love those trance gates. Apparently, it is the plugin we have all been waiting for. Now, I know a lot of you can already create those sort of effects inside your DAW already. For example, in Ableton Live, you've got a bunch of those sort of the beat masher or the beat repeater or whatever it's called. Anyway, this is pretty cool to see it coming from AKAI Professional. It looks like a pretty nice GUI. We don't have it here to show you guys today. Of course, that's not our main feature, is Phasor from UVI, but FlexBeat looks good, and I've got the Australian dollar price here because why not? $67.50 intro price, special launch price. I dare say US dollars, that's going to be a lot cheaper, maybe $29, $39. I mean, gotta hand it to AKAI, and it comes to us from Air as well. I think maybe Air had a collaboration, or Air is distributing this. No, it's from AKAI. Sorry, Air is the distributor. I digress. Let's move along here. All right, so now we're getting into our hardware heavy news this week. Waldorf just dropped the M16 voice, which is essentially the M8, but just 8 more voices, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, if you don't remember or recall, I did talk about this when it dropped at the end of last year. So what is it? What is the Waldorf M16 voice? It is a 16 voice wavetable synthesizer with analog filters and VCAs. The basic version of the M has 8 voices. With the M16, the 8 voice extension is already installed. So you're essentially getting double for your bang for your buck. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more. Anyway, M's musical heart is 8 voice polyphonic, 16 voice for the M16, which is the one we're talking about here. 4-part multi-timbral wavetable synthesizer as boldly blazoned in red across in full metal blue colored casing itself, hinting in its illustrious microwave heritage. 2 wavetable oscillators with independent wavetable generating classic microwave 1 and modern microwave 2 XT modes, meaning that the wavetable oscillators behave differently in both of these modes. Accessible by pressing the mode button besides the helpful high resolution graphic display with 4 endless encoders for yet more hands-on control. And if you are watching us there on either YouTube or Spotify, where we are streaming on a regular basis, you can see that beautiful OLED screen there. I'm trying my best here to zoom in for you guys. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Waldorf dropping the goods. Another one that dropped the goods was Hologram Electronics here, dropping the Microcosm Black Edition. So there's nothing really new in terms of sound of this thing. This thing is perfect though. They don't need to really change or update. This is a future classic. Honestly, I've seen these in studios everywhere. What are they? They're an amazing multi-effects hardware unit. A guitar pedal, essentially, but I mean, these are showing up in all sorts of studios on desktops, plugged into synthesizers, computers, you name it, because this thing can get some incredible results. If you haven't seen it before, definitely search the Microcosm. I even did a video on the Microcosm. You can go to Emlyn in the mix after this video. Podcast, of course, vodcast, as we call it these days. And check out the Microcosm video I did. I think I did no talking even. Like, can you believe me, of all people, was not talking? And you can just hear the Microcosm in action. Anyway, they did... This piece of news here essentially is they've done a black version. They're doing 1,000 of these black versions, limited edition. I mean, it is 1,000 in a world of 7+ billion people. That's not very many, right? And yeah, if you want to get one, you probably want to snap them up, because last time they did a special edition, they sold out within a week or something. Anyway, I know there's a lot of companies working some smart maneuvers to get some cash flow going, especially in the world's economy today, because that's what you've came here to hear, is all about the economy. Anyway, 11 unique, this is what you get with the microcosm, 11 unique granular and looping effects with 44 preset variations, stereo input and output, expressive input, mappable to many controls, MIDI in, out, through, and clock synchronization, 60-second phrase looper with many configuration options, 16 user preset slots for saving loops and settings, stereo reverb with 4 reverb styles. You got a hold sampler function to freeze effects and patterns, adjustable pitch modulation, resonant low pass filter, choose between true bypass switching, buffered bypass, and trials tap tempo also included on there. It is an incredible piece of hardware if you haven't checked it out already, and if you want to get it in this beautiful black, now is the time to do it. And the last piece of news before we get to the main feature, again, is hardware related this week. And this is definitely worth a mention because I've had my eyes on these since they were released. It is another guitar pedal, believe it or not. But these are more, I think these are really more a guitar pedal than that last thing, the microcosm. I just feel like it's an all-rounder. I mean, these can be all-rounders as well. And they're Universal Audio's guitar pedals are now 20% off their guitar effects. So you got the golden classic spring vintage digital plate reverbs, you've got the authentic vintage and modern delay effects, which is called Starlight, and you've also got the iconic analog modulation and tremolo tones Astra, all 20% off, which is really cool, until the end of March, so the 31st of March. So yeah, check those out. I thought that was definitely worth a mention. I've had my eye on these, and at 20% off, that makes them a lot more tantalizing to get for the studio. Anyway, that's all the news out of the way. Here, let's get to our main feature today and what we're going to be showing off here on the podcast. And it is, of course, Phasor from UVI. And we're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to have a live demo. I'm going to jump over to a track, hopefully not bore you too much with the loop of that track. I'll try and mix it up a bit as much as possible. But what is Phasor, you ask? It is a modern, fully parametric Phasor, and that's parametric Phasor, advanced Phasor with exceptional sound quality, multi-mode design with fully parametric LFO, easy to use interface with helpful visualization. It is your new go-to Phasor. So Phasor is a powerful and dynamic studio tool offering up to a broad palette of modulation, filtering, and distortion effects, thanks to its unique multi-mode design and deeply configurable parametric LFO, from buttery stereo field enhancement to rhythmic reinforcement with tweakable LFO wave shape and swing, to more creative and specialized effects utilizing min and max frequency range, so you can actually hone in your frequency where you want the Phasor to be, which is kind of cool. Feedback and drive. Phasor is featured and easy to use, delivering exceptional sound quality across a wide range of sweet spots. I'll have a link down below where you can click if you want to go and get Phasor. No affiliate links today, actually, no kickback for me on Emlyn in the Mix, other than thank you to UVI for letting us check this out today. There's a couple of videos here on the website which you can also watch if you want to get a bit more of an in-depth showcase than what I'm going to show today. I'm merely just going to have a play with it here and just give you an idea of how it sounds, okay? But some of the features just quickly before we jump over to the live demo. So Phasor includes a number of powerful features that let you easily dial in anything from surgical enhancements to two-fisted rhythmic mutilation. Use the min and max knobs to set the frequency range, then couple it with depth to create laser focused parallel effects. And you can see it here. Actually, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, but you can see my screen there. You can see it actually has a major effect when you play with it. And we'll show you that in a second when we go to the live demo. Now, where was I? So one of the most powerful components of Phasor is its multi-mode LFO design, allowing you to choose between off, random, SNH, and parametric LFO modes. Off modes disables the LFO, allowing you to design static or purely automated effects, while SNH and random offer stepped and smooth randomization linked to rate, letting you apply a variable amount of control chaos to your sounds. And parametric LFO, the star of the show, is Phasor's fully parametric LFO, With it, you can achieve an incredibly wide range of phasing behaviors thanks to the versatile variable wave shape, pulse width, symmetry phase, and swing. Click the LFO wave display to access common starting points, then dial in rhythmically relevant modulation to perfectly match your track. So obviously you can snap it to the beat. And ease of use. A spacious, clearly labeled, and well-organized interface makes using Phasor a breeze. We'll show you that in a second. And touting it a future classic here. I think we just jump over to our live demo. Here we are. All right, cool. So I've got this little ditty here, little track. It's nothing special. It's literally a loop. It's not even really a track. But here we can see we've got Phasor up here for you guys. And if we click on this little sort of like looks like a statistic bar, but it's actually, I think it's meant to be a disc. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can see my factory presets. So we've got a bunch of bass ones, we've got a bunch of drums, we've got a bunch of guitar presets, synths, and vocals. Now I've currently got it on bass. I thought we'd kick things off with my bass line here, which I'm using Monolith here in the background. I'm just going to close that though, just so you know, and we can pull up Phasor, make it a bit bigger on the screen. Let's have a quick listen to my song. I don't actually have Phasor turned on, but let's have a quick listen, and then I'll show you. I've got one of the bass presets here, which is really nice. So let's play the track back, or the loop. All right, so that's just obviously the bass line. Got this little beat going, and you got this top synth line. Make sure that's rolling in. Yep, beautiful. All right, so let's just go focus on our bass here, because I'm going to apply some of this parametric phasor to this bass line. So let's turn it on. So you've heard, here it is off, sorry, just quickly. And we turn it on, here we go. Now this is just one of the presets. Go back to Money Lovers. So already it's got some really cool things, okay? So we can really dial in the frequency where we want this to actually sit. So let me just show you that. So you can see the actual frequency going up and down when I move it, and let's see how it affects the sound. Of course it is bass. Most of the frequency is going to be in the low end. So I think we focus it in on the low end. How good's that? So we can just sort of get it where we want it to be. Now we can obviously dial in the rate or the depth. The depth is already on 100%. We could lower that if it was too much for you. I kind of didn't mind it. And the feedback, you could turn that down. So if that was like just, you can actually make it go opposite, but that just sounds getting that real trippy high frequency. Where it was good. Now the other thing I really like is you got drive here as well, so you could really, especially for bass, it's good to add drive. It adds a bit of character. And then if it was getting too hot, you've got a trim knob here as well, so you could always just pull it back to get it right in the mix. But I actually like where I've got it right now, so let's put my mix back in, have a listen. It just needs a side chain on it. Here we go. So I do have a side chain lined up. Put that at the end of the chain. That's nice. All right, so you get the idea. You can apply it to individual instruments. Now, of course, this is a type of effect. If you were to apply it, like if you're all about, hey, how does this thing actually just really sound without you just mixing or whatever, I can show you that as well. So let me just get a Phasor here. I'll pop it on the master channel just to give you the extreme of how this sounds. So this is going on the whole track. Here we go. This is just the default, okay? So you get the idea. It's a traditional Phasor in the Phasor sense, okay? And if you want to do all that crazy, wacky stuff, you can do that. You can just pop it over your full master and you can get the, But obviously this is more designed to mixing and just getting sort of a nice sort of shimmer on your track, because it's not just the traditional Phasor in that sense, and not many people are going to do that anyway. Who's going to have a phaser on their master like this. Why? Why? But it does the job is what I'm merely trying to say there. So let me just show you in a mixing sense, because I think that would make more sense. So here we've got this nice synth line, which is getting produced there by the Mercury 6, who we looked at last week from Cherry Audio. A fantastic instrument, by the way, Mercury 6, amazing. All right, so now I've popped the phaser on, and let's go to synth presets, have a listen through, and we'll find something that works, and then we'll dial it in. That's nice, great tube-ish. I like that too. Mother and phaser, nice. Make sure we're still rolling, beautiful. I actually like this. Let's listen to that in the track, here we go. Now it's probably a little hot. Pull the trim back a bit. And then we can dial it in too, so see where we want it. I actually prefer it down. Pull the max down and the min up. So what I've done is I've dialed in my frequency. If the depth was too much, you could pull it back. Or we could have it real full depth. And you start getting the real phaser sound. But the thing about there is good. We did have also, we've got a one knob pumper here, which is my side chain. It's my lazy side chain, by the way. It's just a side chain that just goes whenever. You can do proper side chaining, which would be, it would go on the actual kick drum, but I'm being lazy here. I can turn it on and off anyway, automate it, whatever. So that's with my side chain. Just pulls it in line, because if you turn that off, it's a little bit above the mix. It just adds a bit of character with that drive and trim. Now, of course, you could get that with the channel strip, I understand, but you don't get that phaser. Like, that phaser's there, and it's subtle. And in some cases it's not subtle, but it just adds that little bit extra. It's really nice to hear it. All right, so the last thing I want to show you here today with phaser is using it on drums. And I had a lot of fun putting this on drums, actually. We'll just close this other phaser here, put our new phaser up that's on the drums, and let's have a look at how it works on the drum presets. So here, I think I like this first preset, which is air phase. Let me just show you the drums. I just like this. These are dry, and let's pop on the air phase. Here we go. How good is that? I can pull the feedback a bit. It does have that, but it really works. Honestly, I'm probably just going to go with that, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go through some of the presets so you can at least check them out. So let me just go through a few here. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know what you'd use that in. Chopped beat. That's not bad. It's probably a little too much. Or if you want that distorted garbage, there you go, garbage preset. Cashmere, that's nice. This could be good in a breakdown. Liquid snare, wow. Lo-fi, that's cool. And rocket. I think that might be it. Where's it go to? Oh, there's two more. I don't know what you'd use that on. Increase the rate. Wow. Don't know about that. Okay, so there are all my drum presets. I'm just going to stick with drums because obviously we're doing drums, but I love this air phase here. Just going to pull my max down a bit. It holds on that backwards clap. Oh, I love it. Let's bring it down a bit. Just pull my feedback a touch. Sounds so good, right? And then let's listen to it in the mix. We've got phases on basically all of our channel, all of our tracks basically at the moment. Let's have a listen. turn that off. Don't know if I'm happy with the Mercury 6 one actually. Oh, but it sounds so good on drums. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds so good. You know what it does? It just adds character, it adds life, and if you can do it in a way that is subtle and not too in your face, it actually works really well. Anyway, guys, I hope I've shown you enough of Phasor to really just give you an idea of how good it sounds. Navigating around just quickly before we go, because that wouldn't be fair if I didn't just show you around properly. So, of course, you've got your min and max, which hones in your frequency over here. You've got your order. You've got your stereo width, so you can actually increase that. Let's just quickly just show you that. So let's see, we got this. We can really just dial in the stereo width, or we can really just pop it back to mono for the Phasor portion of it. So it really depends on, I mean, I like it, especially on these drums, a bit of stereo. You've got your rate, which just means you can, speed it up or slow it down, feedback and depth, self-explanatory, drive and trim. And then this is where the fun begins with your LFOs, because this is essentially your Phasor at work. And the parametric one is what basically this is what this is based around. You can get some really crazy results, but you've also got different ones like SNH, random, and you can just turn it off. So I don't know how that's gonna, we got random, but the parametric one is the fun one because you can really dial in the shape. That's essentially making your LFO, you know what I mean? So you go from a square to like a saw to like nothing basically. And I can change that here too to really, my width. That's all I'm really able, I'm sort of mucking around with it here. I can change where it phases or the swing, give it trippy sort of bit of a weird swing that's not in with my track. That's at 200% there. But anyway, that's the fun part, because the parametric LFO really messes up with the phase and really gets it phasing out, out of control. When you turn on SNH and random, as I read before, you don't have the controls over here. That's only for the parametric LFO. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun just sort of dialing in how you want your Phasor to sort of interact. And that's amazing. This level of being able to really dial in and hone your Phasor, I've never seen this before. Like, I've seen a lot of Phasor plugins and you might be thinking, oh, Phasor, that's boring, right? It's an old school plugin. But to have this level of control and integration, hands down, well done to UVI. This is a very fun and super intuitive, actually. Even if you don't know much about audio effects and how they work, really intuitive, because all you have to do is literally make sure it's on parametric here, and then you just muck around with these knobs down here. Even if you don't know what they mean, you're gonna sure to get some interesting results. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. What did you think of Phasor by UVI? Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it today. It definitely helps out a lot. And why not enter that Emergent Drums competition down below from Audiolab? Thanks to Audiolab and Emlyn in the Mix. 2 lucky winners are gonna win Emergent Drums. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Let me know what you liked about today's podcast. Are you gonna get the Arturia presets? Are you gonna check out AKAI Professionals Flex V? I was gonna say Air. What about the Waldorf M? Are you just gonna go out and get one? Are you just gonna get one right now because you've watched this podcast? You're like, damn, I gotta get this thing here. No, just kidding. I don't know. The Microcosm Black Edition, is that something you want? I mean, freaking hell. I don't know about you guys, but hey, this is one heck of an amazing piece of hardware right there. Or are you going to just get these UAD FX pedals now that they're on special 20% off? And what do you think of Phasor? Link down below for getting Phasor as well. We'll have all the links, everything you need to do. Share the video, do what you have to do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll be back next week, episode 12, season 4 for the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Thank you to UVI. Boom. Hey, thanks for listening to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Here you will find all the latest in music technology, software and hardware, interviews, and more. Also, don't forget to check out the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel today. Till next time, keep it real. Here you go, buddy. No sound, okay? No talking. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Craziness. All right.